Good morning.
Good morning.
It's nice to see some familiar faces in the crowd and some that I've never seen before. My purpose this morning is to give you an informational overview of the North Carolina Military Business Center. We are part of the state community college system. We are statewide business developers. We are here to help business develop, not marketing necessarily, but to get more businesses for them. We are headquartered here at Fayetteville Technical Community College, working out of the virtual college center building, and we are part of the state community college system. What that means are we are totally state funded, and we are the only entity of like this in the nation. No other state has an entity that is geared towards helping their companies in that state find federal contracts for their businesses to pursue. This is our official mission statement, but to put it in real plain words that a guy like me can understand, my job, our job, is to help North Carolina companies find, bid on, win, and then finally perform federal contracts. So folks, well, why in the Military Business Center? When we started back years ago, BRAC was coming to Fort Bragg. And there was concern of for BRAC coming in with all these military folks, the changes, what can we do for defense contractors, bring them on the area? Well, over time, we have more. So we've gone away from DOD. Yes, we still do a lot of stuff with DOD, but now we look at all executive departments. So we actually pursue things for the Forest Service, Veterans Administration, Justice, Homeland Security. So any federal contract, we're here to help companies with. This is my job, as I just said, is to help a North Carolina company find, bid on, win that opportunity, and then finally perform a federal contract. We have offices throughout the state and developers throughout the state. The black stars are where our offices are located on a community college. So we have a tie-in, not only here at FTCC, but other community colleges within the state. Our developers, we also have regions. So you see a star, this is me over here. I have that region. I also have Sampson, Cumberland, and Harnett counties. I also have industries. For example, I'm responsible for all the opportunities on Fort Bragg. So I meet with the contracting offices on Bragg and post those opportunities out to businesses. I also do stuff with Sampson County, and I also look at stuff for Special Operations Command. So all those type of opportunities that will come out, I'm the one that posts those out for businesses. And I just lost the balance. This is how we work it. We make companies aware of the market. Then we're going to bring companies to the market, whether this is through our trade shows, wherever we do that. Get them engaged, and we want to connect them to future opportunities. One of the ways we do that is through Match Force. I have a flyer over there on that. And then we want to help these companies, like Ashley would talk about you, strategic partnering, helping you to come up with the teams. Connect you to the current opportunities two ways, either through Match Force, or as a developer, we'll send out emails to companies. When we work an opportunity, we do a search for our database and send that opportunity out to companies based on their NAICS codes. We will help a company with a solicitation and analysis and decision. Companies will call me and say, hey, I got this opportunity, what does it really mean? Come by the office or I'll go visit them and we will tear that thing apart, looking at it. What's good, what's bad? Do they have the capability? Do they have the capacity to work on that opportunity? I can do everything for them with their submission except write the opportunity. We don't write the proposals. We can look at it, lead on it when they're done with it. And as they win, we help them execute. For example, we had a company call up and says, I have a shipment going up to DLA in Richmond. There's a specification on packing. What does that really mean? And we'll research it and help them to find that out. And then as they perform and execute the contracts, there's expansion of jobs. So that's going to be more jobs for North Carolina as well. So on. And the cycle repeats itself. Match Force is our business matching service. When a company enrolls on Match Force, puts in their NAICS codes, North American Industry Classification Standard Code, we have a web crawler that goes out. Every day it goes out and looks for NAICS codes matched to what a business puts on it. And then when they find a match to that NAICS code, the business person who, with the email they registered in, gets an email that says, you have a Match Force match. And then there's a brief description of it and a link to the opportunity. So that owner of the business can go, and the decision maker can now go, yes, I want to pursue this opportunity, or not pursue it, or they'll give us a call and say, tell them more about it. In the 7 years it was up, $718 million wins for companies off of opportunities on Match Force. And I have a brochure over there on Match Force. This is the Match Force portal. You can register as a business, a government as an individual. So business, they also can put in here, you need people with special skills. Actually, you can put in a profile as a business. This is free. You pay for it April 15th, whether you want to or not. Government agencies can be on here. You can register as an individual. So don't make sure your people don't, because they might be Pinocchios wanting to cut their strings and learn all they can from you and go work for somebody else. But you can post job opportunities up here as a business. That's free, so it's there for you to do it. That's really what I have here to talk about. What are your questions on the North Carolina Military Business Center?
Yeah, Match Force has been around a long time.
Mm-hmm. And it works.
It does. Not only did I look to hire people through it when it first started, but they keep sending me job opportunities still to this day. So, yeah, it works good.
Hey, how are you doing? Okay, go. It's like you want to ask something.
No, I just wish I'd known about this when I first retired from the military.
That's one thing that I've been asked to come to spread the word. We heard. Other things we do, we'll put events on through the year, and we're already starting to work at the events for 2015. We are talking with Fort Bragg about the Fort Bragg Small Business Outreach event. The contracting command on Bragg has been directed that they will do an industry day. They are fighting that. They're not really thrilled about doing that. So we are talking to them, saying, if you're going to do this, why don't we do it in conjunction with the Small Business Outreach event? And in the morning, we can have you come in and talk to all the companies about what's UC's projections for opportunities for Bragg for the rest of the fiscal year. And in the afternoon, that's when we'll bring in the requirements folks, the DPW, the logistics folks, the PX, the commissary folks, to talk to industries. That's going to be an early spring event, March timeframe. We're having a Food for the Forces again. We're going to have our Federal Advanced Technology Symposium in June. August, we will have the Defense Trade Show, first Tuesday in August. That will be over here in the SIS gym. For vendors, that's free to come, for businesses to come in. Immediately following that, we'll go up to Winston-Salem for the Advanced Manufacturing Aerospace Summit. And then in October, we already have the dates for our next year's Federal Construction Summit. We're looking at several venues for that one. Some of the venues are still where we're going to do it. We also have advanced proposal writing classes going on. Those classes are designed to take somebody from an introductory level of proposal writing, the classes that I do for you, for the chamber, and we actually lock folks in a classroom for 2 days. And one of the things I'll tell you is when you get into the first day, make one text to your boss, tell them not to text you for the next 2 days and turn your cell phone off. We want you for 2 days. They actually write the proposal, price of the proposal, and then we do an evaluation board. So they take you through all that stuff. Those classes will be December 8th and 9th in Charlotte, and then we have it again the 11th and 12th in Wilmington, and that's in December. December 2nd through the 4th, here on FTCC, over in the Continuing Education Building, we have a Defense Contracting Academy. Don't let the name scare you. I've been talking with Scott Dorney, our Executive Director, about changing the name to Federal Contracting Academy. Because what we do is look at all agencies as we do this. This is a soups to nut class for 3 days. It's $115 for 3 days. I feed you 9 times during that day, those days. So $150 divided by 9 meals, that's more. Plus, we give you a plaque that's already framed, not suitable for framing. It's already framed. You can take it and put it on your wall. And you get a book yay thick of all the presentations. We have lawyers coming there, so if you have legal questions, we have bankers. We have financial organizations other than bankers coming to us. So we talk about how to scale businesses. We talk about marketing, how to develop strategic partners. And we also do some of that in real slight writing and pricing proposals. But it's a thing for the businesses to come to learn how to be an effective federal contractor. That's December 2nd through 4th. Ma'am.
And that might solve one of the problems I've had, and I wasn't sure if you had resources for this. We've stayed away from federal contracting because I've noticed, if we get a larger contract, we don't get paid until afterwards, or even it gets hard to get the money. And we run really lean. So, if we get a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 contract, I don't have the cash flow to front all that up front and wait for the check.
And there are several agencies here in this area that are good at helping with that problem. I also, Greg Martin, one of the businesses and one of the banks here, has developed a program that what has happened is banks historically look at an account receivable. They are very good at lending. I'm going to pick on my brother here from Wells Fargo. But they're very good at understanding that they have an accounts receivable, that's money coming to you. Where there's been a disconnect is that they go to the government contract. And so it's been an education process with financial institutions to say, I got a government contract. This value has a minimum value of this up to whatever the contract's for. It may be a year before I finally get all the $250,000 because I'm going to bill it in monthly check, monthly components or whatever. So that comes out based on the deliverables of their opportunity. So banks are now realizing that they need to say, hey, this really is good equity. That's not the word I'm looking for. Collateral. Good collateral up there. And this is coming. So what you need is something, and in one of the classes I say we talk about who's a good fit for federal contracting, is that if you have your first deliverable after 30 days, then it gets reviewed by 10 days by whoever in the government, and they say, okay, it's good to go. Then they send it to their financial people and say it's okay to pay. That sits on somebody's desk for a couple of weeks, and they write the check. So now we're at about 60 days. So in 60 days, you're paying twice a week, twice a month. We're now at 4 pay periods. So really at 5 pay periods before the check finally arrives at you or thereabouts. So that's what you need is a loan or amount that float you through the first 5 pay periods. And that's what we're working with banks to make them understand that that's a good thing to come. And we're finally seeing some success in that arena.
That's exactly what just happened to me.
Yeah, exactly. I've lived that. I've lived that for 14 years. So, yes. So. Somebody's got. No one preaching the choir, because most of you know about it. But somebody's got to have a question.
What are some of the government set-asides for small business?
Government has 4 levels of set-asides. The first one is $3,000 or less, and that's normally a government purchase credit card. So if you are going to target that market, you need to have the ability to take credit cards, whether it's a block, a small block that goes on top of the smartphone, thank you, the Square, or wherever it is, or the fancy machine, just be able to get credit cards. The next one goes from $3,000 to about $25,000. And that's also a simplified acquisition purchase procedures. And once again, that's normally done also by credit cards. And there's different rules for how many vendors the government has to go find out and everything. Normally, they have to find 3 vendors they know and can locate. And when I say no, they're not actually sending out a proposal at that time. So we tell the folks that go market, you find the folks that are going to use your services, and we help you do that, and you market to them. So when they know, they say yes, they can pull out your capability statement, go, I know this company can do that. So they can know and locate, you get 3 prices, and they go to 1. The next one is $25,000 and a penny to $150,000. This now starts when a government contract is in that dollar range. It has to be posted on federal business Fed Biz Ops. So if you see it there in a simplified format, it's at least $25K to up to $150. You see the dollar amount on that. And then the final one is $150K and a penny above, and all the way up to millions of dollars. The aircraft carriers, for example. This is a very formalized process, and in that one, that's where they start looking at you may be required to put in past performance. The simplified may not be past performance, but you now start putting in past performance. And one of the keys to knowing the difference is when you see the solicitation come out. If it does not have sections A through N on the cover sheet, it's 25 to 150. If it has sections A through N, it's over 150,000 in expected value. So you just tell by looking at that on the sheets.
And your office is here.
We're here. I'm in the Virtual College Center.
I know where that is.
Yes. In fact, I think I have the map.
Next to the library.
Right here.
Yeah.
If we are here, right here, we're in the Virtual College Center building over here. Virtual College Center building.
Last question, what can the community do for you?
One of the things the community can do for us is to spread the word about the services we offer here. And we are part of the community college system, but more importantly, we're part of FTCC. You know, I'm an FTCC employee. The headquarters is here. We chose to be here on FTCC because of the center of the military universe at Fort Bragg. And we have most of the folks in the community are folks that don't know about us still. In the business, we find out, they go, man, we didn't know these services were here. But, you know, folks pay, everybody in North Carolina pays for us. You know, we really want to get folks to use these services. There is a cost to this, and the cost is the time of the business to come. So as opposed to other companies, I cringe when I hear that I'm paying $600 for somebody to build my SAM account or to enroll me and get my DUNS number. I'm going, well, we can help you do that for nothing. You know, just come and see us. Get the word out to us. And then come by and see me in my office.
All right.
Thank you.
That's it.